In case you didn't know it, I'm a huge fan of Curse of Strahd. That was my favorite 5e campaign to run, and the only published campaign that I ran all the way through. And I wish at the time that I had these amazing miniatures that are coming out from WizKids. We've got the Denizens of Castle Ravenloft as well as the Denizens of Barovia. So let's take a look and see what comes with what. So let's go in for a closer look at the Denizens of Castle Ravenloft. Let's start with Emil Taranescu, who was a prisoner inside Castle Ravenloft. And unless I'm mistaken, he's also was a werewolf. That's right, a werewolf. There's always some sinister surprises. And this one is Anastasia Karlova. Okay. Brushing up on my bad accents, but this is not an NPC my character's encountered. But what a great miniature, this vampiress. And speaking of a great vampiress mini, this may be my favorite one. Look at, she's both beautiful and frightening. She's frighteningly beautiful. This is Ludmila Velasevic. And it's almost a shame that she's a vampire, because what a great noble mini she'd be. I mean, I guess you could put it down and pretend, ask your players to use their imagination just a little bit. Here is a miniature one group actually encountered. I ran Curse of Strahd almost all the way through for one group and totally through for another. And this is Escher. And my one group did encounter him, as well as Gertruda. Gertruda, if you have played through, you'll remember that she was missing. She was from Barovia village, and her mother was just distraught that she was missing. And here we have Valenta Popovsky. Love the names. And she is wearing a mask to hide her face. But again, the detail on these minis and just being able to have them so that they populate your campaign, where you can plop down the actual miniatures, is such a super idea. I'm so glad WizKids is doing it. Now, Rahadin, or Rahadin, however you want to pronounce it, this is somebody both of my groups encountered. And they believed him to be a friend at first, until he betrayed them at the Amber Temple. So, like all new WizKids minis, you can see they've got the clear bases, and I love that. Uh-oh, Emil's about to fall off. So let's go over to the Denizens of Barovia. Of course, you don't necessarily meet this character, but you see his creations. This is Gadolf Blinsky. He's a toy maker. Is no Blinsky is no fun. And you've got Arena Kolyana, the object of Strahd's ardor, obsession. He's totally after. And you've got Ismark Kolyanovich. That's her brother, who is a great NPC. The players really liked him quite a bit in my group. And Izik Strazny. I did use Izik Strazny in one campaign, but the other I made it Ivana Strazny, and I had it was a female because it had a tie in to one of my players, which was interesting. And of course, Lady Vogter, what a villainess she was. I love this mini. This would be great if you're playing a campaign, Pathfinder campaign, right? In Thrune, where they openly worship Asmodeus. She could be a noble from that world as well. But I love it. Now, these other miniatures were from a different area. There's Vladimir Horngard and Sir Godfrey Guillem. And my player characters did not get to the area where these were. Their quest just didn't take them there. But again, look how amazing it is to have the actual miniatures that you can use for your Curse of Strahd campaign or just Barovia campaign, or just use these in whatever campaign you want. They have such character and versatility that you can use them in a multitude of ways and a multitude of roles. Even though I've already run through that campaign, or maybe one day I'd love to run it again, I will still use these characters again and again. Maybe this is a groom who, to his horror, found out his wife was cursed and he barely escaped with his lives, and he comes to the players and begs their help in aiding him to bring peace and rest to his wife. But she's taken up with other vampires or other creatures of the night or werewolves or whatever. You're really limited by your imagination. WizKids really makes it nice and easy by providing these outstanding NPC minis to be used in your game, whether for player characters or NPCs to encounter, whether you're playing Curse of Strahd or your own homebrewed game. I highly recommend checking them out.